Wonderful day. Welcome to the Potsquatch Growers live stream here at Potsquatch Growers. There, my God, it went down to like the second there. I was just making I'm making some shroom chocolates, some microdosing shroom chocolates. At first, I was gonna pour it into these little molds that I had, but then I was like, oh man, like this is gonna be tricky. Plus, I'm running out of time before the show. So I decided just to pour it out into a flat slab. I'll trim it down to size. I'll do some basic math, and then I'll cut them to size, and then we're gonna know, roughly what the dosage is there. I just pulled those out of the oven literally about 8, 10 seconds before the show is supposed to start. So I just put them on the stove to cool down, and we'll go from there. But let's go back to the beginning. What's up, Felicia, Casper, Skimpy, Limpy? What's up, Soul Price? Good to see you. That one stuff. Good to see you, buddy. I'm going to make sure that the messages are all messages. There we go. What's up, George W. Cush? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Soul Price? Good to see you, buddy. All right. So how's everybody been doing? Maybe I should try to pull these curtains closed for better lighting. There we go. All right, that's a little bit better. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day so far. What's up, Keithley Stone? Good to see you. What's up, Grandpa Grows 2? What's up, AZ Treasure Hunters? Good to see you, buddy. Cheers to you. Much love back to the UK. What's happening, Jeannie Martin? Good to see you, my friend. All right. I hope everyone's having a good time. I'm having a good day. It's been a productive day for me so far. I woke up, did some emails. I've recently booked an acting gig that's coming up later this month, so I had to, send some documents off about that. I checked the moisture levels on the plant that we transplanted yesterday, and my God, she was thirsty again, so we've re-added water in there. When initially starting out adding microzyme inoculants to your plants, you're going to have to make sure you stay on top of proper hydration. It is very important. Trichomes rock your socks. You and I are on completely the same page on that one, but let's not get into that, because at the end of the day, there are people of all different political ideologies in the Potsquatch Growers Army, and it's not my place to influence your thoughts or their thoughts on that. But Trichomes Roxy Socks, we are definitely on the same page on that, but let's not get into that one. It's a little sensitive right now. Canada's making some power moves, and we're going to keep making power moves, and so we're just not going to get into it, okay? let's avoid it. All right, Soul Price says, I grew my own shroomies too, a bit of a lot, but lost in how to microdose into them, laugh aloud, so I just dried them and stored them for right now. So microdose is pretty easy when it comes to magic mushrooms. I mean, the basic conceptual agreement, I guess, would be that typically a microdose dosage would be 0.1 to 0.2 grams. Typically, they're done in gel tabs, so they'll be powdered and they'll put into gel tabs, and they'll be, I don't got the patience to do that, nor do I have a machine for doing that. So my thing is that when I'm making microdosing things for myself, yeah, I lick the spoon a little bit. I make it into chocolate. The molds were a little too tricky to get it into, still, kind of quite thick. So I was like, I'm just going to pour it into a fat, flat slab. I'm going to, let that cure, sit, dry out, come to room temp, whatever. And then I'll just cut it into little pieces, and it'll be pretty damn close. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Trichomes, Roxy Socks. I'm just trying to be very careful, because I know it's very easy for me to get triggered into a thing, and we don't need to make this show about the stupidity of the world right now. Let's talk about pot. Oh, man. But, I'm excited, though, for this grow right now, because these, and again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I said it in the video yesterday, the K-Town Kush by Cheese by Alien Rift, I was not expecting much from this genetic. It was just kind of like, well, I'll throw one of them in there too, because I wasn't really happy with how the K-Town Kush by Cheese on its own did. That was the last run we did before things changed in my life. And so, I wasn't really happy with how it formed buds. It seemed to have next to no smell to it. So, the Alien Rift was, a fun genetic, but I was like, I wasn't expecting much from that cross. But in the end, what it led to was this consistent plant that is one very similar. They're a little floopy when they first start, like as little babies, but that's to be expected with some cheese genetics in there. Cheese genetics classically have some floop to them in the beginning, but it's nothing to worry about. It's just kind of like the old ugly duckling story, you know, like just be patient, bitch, gonna be hot soon. But in veg, even just like even when it's a young plant, just like do a little defoliation here or there, pluck a leaf or two here. Hell, the stem rub alone, and it's skunky. It's got this funky thing. So it's like I may have inadvertently created something epic as shit when I wasn't thinking it would do anything. It goes to show you the magic of genetics and how like you can have two things that like well the Alien Rift I was pretty happy with overall, minus its finicky shit. And there was so much finicky shit to the Keytown Kush by cheese, so like I wasn't expecting anything. But then somehow this harmonious balance between all these pieces has kind of come together, and I'm like, damn, bitch, I think you're gonna be crazy. So I'm pretty excited about that. Mudswat, you're not banned at all, buddy. Buddy, dude, just because we have differences of opinion on current political events, I'm a democratic person. Okay, you're allowed to think differently than I do. Some of you are on my personal Facebook, and so obviously I don't, on my personal Facebook, pull any of my opinions or my thoughts. But that doesn't mean, just because we see things differently, that doesn't mean I don't love you anymore. It doesn't mean we're not still brothers. It doesn't mean we're not still sisters, okay? It doesn't mean that I hate you. I question some of your ideas, but that's allowed. You're allowed to question mine. You can think I'm an idiot. I can think you're an idiot. But that's okay. That doesn't mean I don't love you. I think my sisters are stupid bitches all the time, and I still love them. Don't like them very much, but I still like you, Mudswat. So don't worry about it, baby. You good, Mudswat. You good. All right, 1 second here. I think I've missed some messages here. Let's read some of these things here. Bear with me, everybody. Hey, you know what? They're decent enough curtains, Deborah. I like purple. You know, it's a good time. Okay, I'm back to that comment, so now I can read. I'm just catching up. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just reading everyone's messages. Jeannie Martin, the world is definitely in a form of chaos. That is true. We're living in strange times. But you know what? In an odd way, I would say, fuck, I'm glad I'm alive for it. Because arguably we're seeing one of the most interesting times in our history right now. You know what I'm saying? So, just reading. Bear with me. Bear. Just reading. All right. What's up, Raymond? Good to see you, buddy. All right. Really dense. Eugene says, my Godfather OG buds are big and really dense. Hell yeah. Definitely sticking to my schedule from now on. And thankfully, I kept a diary of everything. Hell yeah. Now, remember, Eugene, what works for one genetic isn't necessarily going to work for the other genetic. So again, it's a great standpoint to keep in mind. And just remember, it may work for a lot of genetics, but it might not at the same time. Dense buds is a fun time, and especially if you haven't changed anything like adding CO2 or anything like big differences in that regard. It's a big part of it is genetic. A big part of it's having enough light too. The thing to remember from really dense buds, especially if they start getting really big, is you got to keep that air movement up because you don't want any bud rot though, right? So the denser and bigger the bud, the higher your potential of bud rot. So you got to be real careful on that. Be excited, but keep that air movement good. Keep on your defoliations inside, because you don't want any of that, bud rot action. You know what I'm saying? Mudswat, I mean, I like dense bud. I think some buds have gotten almost too dense at times. I like a nice, what I would describe as like a 3/4 dense bud. It's like dense. It's quite hard, but it's not like the proverbial rock at the same time. Raymond 147, what religion are you? Technically, I don't identify with religion. If I had to pick anything, I think the closest thing that exists to what I would view myself as is I am a pagan druid shaman. I come from Celtic peoples, and I honor my forebears' religious beliefs before Christianity. However, I am technically an Anglican. In American, that's called Episcopalian. Both my mom and dad are Anglican priests. So I grew up in the church. I haven't formally denounced anything, but I don't really identify as a Christian. The way I look at religion is, I'll put it to you this way in a simple statement, okay? All major world religions foundationally say the exact same fucking thing. I cannot get on board with religion because one, I don't buy it. Two, there's no way that an ape-like species on the third rock from a sun figured out creation. That's just bullshit. Three, aliens make more sense to creation than God does. Four, I can't get on board with organized religion because really, one, foundationally, almost all world religions foundationally say the exact same thing. And I see so much harm, hate, divide, and harm done to each other. And the basic concept of most world religions is love, acceptance, and loving your fellow being. So it's hard for me to get on board with that, with the amount of hate that gets spread around in the name of quote unquote religion. So technically, though, I'm an Anglican or an Episcopalian. But I'd rather identify as a druidic pagan shaman. My true way of life is the Potsquatch, though. But there you go. I hope that gives you an answer, Raymond147. 1 second here. Oh yeah, Soul Price. I always forget to do that. If you're new here, feel free to like, subscribe. Everybody's welcome. We're ramping things up. We got to grow going again. We're gonna get the educational videos finally going again. I'm finally feeling settled at my job, feeling good about things, feeling positive, feeling kind of more like myself. So I'm pretty excited to make a bunch of different, fun videos for everybody. I've been absentee for 2 or 3 months, and I've been off and on with the whole Potsquatch thing. I've just been in healing process for 3 years, but it's good. I'm getting excited. I'm pretty stoked on it. 1 second here. I'm still reading now. Bear with me here. Hey man, you can call me a heathen, and if anything, I will not take issue with that. Celtic Druidic faith is older than Christianity, man. Call me a heathen. I'll take it. I'll take it as a fucking compliment. You're telling me the yearly nativity play isn't true? Oh, little Chewy Stewie, I love you, buddy. Oh, I missed your sense of humor. It's good to see you, buddy. Missed you, bud. How you doing? Are the puppies sleeping? No, they're chilling. They just got back from the groomers. They're just relaxing. They're just chilling like villains. Baby Jesus. Oh, little Chewy Stewie, I missed you, buddy. How you doing? Dude, bro, we got to have a chat and catch up sometime, man. I hope you're doing well. Deborah Fletcher says, Uncle Squatch, religion, curtains, okay, religion, politics, no. No, I feel you. We're not getting into religion. I'm just answering a question. Someone was asking, and I'm an open book, right? So people can always ask me about myself. There's no problem with me sharing my personal thought or identification. It's kind of like, hey, Potsquatch, you gay or straight? I like pussy. Okay, cool. No difference in asking me what religion I am. That's allowed. I'm okay with that. Don't bother me, man. As long as nobody's spreading hate up in here and hating on each other, then we all good. You know what I'm saying? That one stuff. You have opinions? How dare you? I know, right? Do a kickflip. Nah, man, I ain't no skater, man. I tried skating as a kid and it nearly killed me. I do not have I'm not built to be a skater. I'm good at other things. I really wanted to be a skater as a kid, just didn't work out. I got the stoner part of the skater thing right when I was a kid, but I could longboard a bit, but that's basically just hurtling down a hill, so I can handle that. But mud swat, war's never good for anybody except for the rich elite. You know what I'm saying? It's a business. So anyway, let's circle back around to weed. So what time did I finish doing that transplant yesterday? My best guess is I probably finished that transplant yesterday around 5 or 6 p.m., 4, 5, 6 p.m., something like that. So really, we're slowly approaching. It's 2:14 p.m. Vancouver, BC time right now. So we're almost at that 24-hour period. At 72 hours since the transplant is when we're going to go through. We're going to drill some holes. We're going to do some tying down of those branches and sort of doing our initial sort of setup on things. Hell yeah, that one stuff. I will send you in to do kickflips for me then. I couldn't even pull off an ollie as a kid. I could downhill ski a bit. I tried snowboarding once, everybody. It did not work out. Now, mind you, I was quite stoned, so that probably didn't help anything, but The fact of having both feet strapped to a board freaked me out when I was snowboarding, and I got halfway down the mountain after 6 hours. I ran into a tree, broke my nose, knocked myself out, woke up bleeding everywhere, and I was like, "This is a stupid sport." I took the stupid snowboard off. I marched back down the mountain. I returned it to the rental shop. I got stoned and went and sat in the bar. That was my one time trying snowboarding. It did not end well. Jeannie Martin says, it's funny how so many in the grow community are getting back on track. I know in your case, it's been trying to get your life back to some sort of normality. Good to see you with some springs in your step. Oh, thanks, man. You know, Jeannie Martin, I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? And like, I mean, I wish I had more space. That's the one thing that I still hate. I mean, I wish I had more space. I'm still trying to tame all of these possessions. Like, I've gotten rid of so much stuff, and there's just still so much stuff that I have. You know, putting a 2,300 square foot house into a 500 square foot apartment's hard. But, you know, life's good. I got a good job. My film career is finally doing things. I'm making decent money. I'm slowly paying off debt and digging my way out of debt. You know, I'm not dead. My new dick that I had to rebuild after almost losing my dick is going good. The one nut, it hasn't gotten cancer again, so that's great. You know, I feel like I'm only getting more attractive the more I age. What do the kids call it now? The Riz? I always call it having swagger or game in my generation, but you know, I got the Riz. I'm feeling good about my Riz. You know, life's good, man. Got my Cadillac back. That's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just having fun with life again, and like, you know, kind of had some stability and some normalization. Things are good, man. You know what I'm saying? What's what you would make the prettiest butterfly? That guy channel too. I put coffee grounds and then microzai or microzai, you know. Jeannie Martin, yeah, my dick working good, man. My dick working good. I can still do porn. I'm all right. Yeah, no, my junk's all right. Frank and Weenie's doing good. I will say though, I don't recommend that for any males at home. Uh, Losing 65% of your scrotum in major sections of your dick is not advisable. It's not fun. Take my word for it. I've been there, done that, checked it out. Not great. So maybe don't do that one. Just stick to growing weed instead. So coffee is high in nitrogen. There's also secondary micronutrients and nice essential oils, which are good for your plant. But the main thing about adding coffee grounds is, one, I'm in a vegetative state, so the nitrogen's nice. But two, it's a really optimal pH, and it's going to help naturally maintain a more positive pH in my new root medium with the microzyme, and then my little roots kind of then spreading out and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, little chewy stewy. I'll tell everybody a funny story about that. So I lost 65% of my scrotum, right? But I only got the one nut at the cancer, right? So it's like, you know, he's just got one of those new tiny homes. It's ergonomic, it's efficient, you know, it's all the rage now. One of those tiny home living nuts. But it was funny. So right after my surgery, though, it was like a week and a half after my surgery. This is a little graphic, so, you know, don't get freaked out. Nothing was healing, right? I was still bruised and purple down there. Everything was bad. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, I thought shit would be getting better. Peace out, Miss K. Sorry if I scared you with my junk talk. And yeah, so basically, I had to go back into the hospital. And I was like, yo, something ain't right. This should be getting better, yo. And it's not. I think I've had a hematoma. For those of you who don't know what a hematoma means, it's basically a bleed, right? So the assistant surgeon who helped with the reconstruction of Frank and Winnie on October 31st, 2023, comes in and she looks at it. She goes, holy crap, you did have a hematoma. So they ended up draining 14 ounces of dead blood and clots out of it. That was interesting. And she was astonished, though, at how much came out. And so I turned to her. I said, yo, I only got fucking 35% of my ball sack left. That's pretty good, though. 14 ounces for 35%? Damn. She just looks at me. She's like, do you never not make jokes about it? I was like, it's the only way I know how to fucking get through this. Like, But yeah, no, it was interesting. But again, reiterating, don't don't do what I did. Don't feel the need to take on a weird freak streptococcal bacterial infection that tries to kill you. It's not fun. It is not advisable. Yeah, but anyway, it is what it is, you know. One thing I'm excited about this next run is, so we're not doing the horizontal thing. We're gonna kind of go more old school with it. We're gonna like tie some branches sort of down and out how we used to do. We've still got that kind of, you know, framework or trellis around the side, so we'll kind of eventually use that for some more stability. Maybe I'm thinking I kind of like might let it go out, kind of like a spider web a bit from the center point of the singular plant in the 5 gallon. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I'm excited for it though, but it's only one plant. So we did one plant last time, but it was still kind of jungly. Where with this plant, I'm gonna try to stay on top of it pretty hardcore and keep it very controlled and very like, you know, here, there, etc. That guy channel 2. There's no potassium in coffee. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot. If there is, it's trace amounts. I don't think there's tons of potassium in there. But again, potassium and magnesium are not going to be as important to me until I get into flour. But then I got Epsom salts, magnesium sulfate. I've got Procal. You know, I got all my basic bases covered there, so I'm not too worried. Right now, we've just got a baby plant that we've been choking out in its solo cup. We've just transplanted it, splayed out its root ball, and we're going to see what bloody happens. You know what I'm saying? 14 ounces. What does that equate to in inches? I don't know if you can really take a fluidic volume measurement and equate it to inches, little Stewie. uh, and Eugene Dolan says, God, I'd say that was painful. I can honestly say, ladies and gentlemen, I've been through a lot of different experiences. I've had cancer. I've been shanked. I've been stabbed. I've been shot. I've broken many bones. I've had bats broken over my head. I've been in car accidents. I drove into a power pole at 70 kilometers, 75 kilometers an hour on a scooter. Took that, caught it to my shoulder. I've had a lot of painful experiences. I can honestly say my junk story, the almost dying from my dick, that was the most painful experience of my life. It definitely was. Again, don't recommend it, everybody. Been there, done it. I did it, so you don't have to, okay? But yeah, no, that was definitely the most painful experiences I have ever experienced. Deborah, Deborah had breast cancer. I hope you don't mind me reading it, but you're publicly sharing it, so I'm figuring it's okay. Everything went wrong with reconstructive surgery. Then the second one kind of made me EU. What's an EU? What do you mean? Do I think I will lock out with just coffee? Lock out like root nutrient lockout? God no, dude. I've been adding coffee grounds to my plants almost my entire career, guys. This is not a new one for Potsquatch. This is a thing Potsquatch does a lot. Yeah, that's right, Deborah. Frankenweenie and Frankentits. Tony Clifton, your voice has changed too. Uh, what's it sound like now? I mean, I've listened to some of the older videos, and like my voice was definitely higher back in the day. I mean, I hear myself, and it's still me. Um, I feel like when I listen to the older Podsquatch videos, I'm like, oh shit, like I was so youthful and jovial. Like my voice is so high. I'm raspy now. I'm just living the life, and I'm an old man now. My beard's starting to turn white, and I'm going straight Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying? But how does it sound different to you now? Um, I'm just reading everybody's messages here. Mudswat says, I've been single for 5 years and it sucks. You know, I have a lady friend in my life, but no formal title to it. And I don't know if I ever want a formal title again, honestly. Maybe one day. I'm not ready for it. being single, learning to love yourself is the most important thing you can do to one day maybe have a relationship. But I will say also too, having that independence and being still just you, it's a lot more peaceful. That's what I would say, and that is worth something to me. Grandpa Gross says, I had a triple bypass last year. Fuck, son. They gave me ketamine for pain. Ketamine for pain. Interesting. Interesting. I've never had, well, I've had ketamine, but that was self inflicted. I never used ketamine for pain, though. I was on a lot of hydromorphone when I was dying in the hospital. My worst pain day, I took 67 hydromorphones, plus a lot of other shit. The doctors were astounded. They're like, how are you still coherent? How are you still completely functional? I was like, I went to art school, thank you. Like, this is just a day in the park for me. Tony says a little bit higher. Oh, weird. See, my voice is, in my opinion, much lower than it used to be. But I am then thinking about, years ago, maybe. My voice does change a lot of different levels, though. Like, as a voiceover actor, artist, I don't even know what my actual voice sounds like. I think this is pretty close. What's up, Tommy D? Good to see a eunuch. I almost became a eunuch too. But they would have cut off the twig with the berries. I spent the first week in the hospital trying to fight them to not cut my dick off, everybody. Yeah. I remember the first doctor, he was a student doctor in the infectious disease section of the hospital. I became show and tell for all the student doctors. One day I saw like 47 different student doctors. And he came in, he was like, man, I don't think we need to cut your dick off. And I was like, bro, you're the first person to say this to me. Tell me more, sir. It was hilarious. Trichrome's Roxy Sock says, I bumped into Michael Jordan once and asked, how do you black guys have big dicks? He said, well, we tie a brick around the end of our dick, run around, and that's how we get big dicks. That's not true, but I think it's a funny joke, though. And if Michael Jordan actually said that, you know what? Good sense of humor on you there, Michael. Oh, man. What's up, Dale Ski OG? Good to see you, buddy. All right. Tony Clifton, again, we're not getting into political stuff, especially given the current trade war between my country and the MAGA movement. Because we're not, in our minds, we're not at war with America. We're just at war with Trump and the MAGA movement. Every Canadian in Canada would have to be killed before we'll become the 51st state. We are Canadian. We will never be anything but. We will never be the 51st state. We will never not be Canadian. You'd have to kill all of us first. That is the most I'm going to say on that topic right now, and we're going to move on. I have never personally fallen into a K-hole, Mudswat, but I have seen people in a K-hole. It is weird. Soul Price says, ooh, I finally got my gaming PC built up and running. Hell yeah, buddy. All right. Congrats, bro. I'm on a Mac now, everybody, so, because I don't really game. So, I mean, I bought a Super MacBook Pro for doing all my shit. I'm not a fan at how much it cost, but I will say that for doing film and audio and these types of things, Apple products are the bomb. Sorry, everybody, I'm just reading. Hell yeah, that one stuff. I mean, I was seeing on the Facebook the other day, everybody, that they're bringing back N64 and 4K, and if that's real, according to my other nerd friends, it is real. It's been sold out for months on the pre-sale, so like I'll get one maybe in 10 years, but I would start gaming again for that. I would get stoned, and I would fucking definitely hit up a new age N64. N64 was the last gaming system I actually really played, and then after that, I just tuned out. So, We're doing the K-Town Kush by Cheese by Alien Rift right now, which is fun. We're going to veg that out probably for about 3 weeks is my thought. 3 or 4 weeks veg probably, and then we'll flip. But the real question is, though, it basically means we've got 3 or 4 weeks to decide what we're doing next. I've done pretty much everything on the channel, I think. Oh, no, we didn't do the Orange Warrior Widow on the channel yet. We didn't do any of the Kaitunga to F2s. So there's other things we could do. But I'm feeling really like I want to go with something that's really 100% up my alley and my love. I mean, I've got some. Who remembers the King's Kush? Y'all remember when I did the King's Kush back in the day? We did a few different ones. My favorite phenotype of that one wasn't the hugest producer, but it was super dense and it was super fucking purple, yo. And that is what I'm thinking. I might try. I need to order one of those products. I've been reading about like these enzymatic products that are helping old beans pop, and I'm very curious to try them. I've read good things. I'm curious to maybe order some and try it out. But if I can get some of that and if it actually works, like I've got so many old beans that I would feel way more confident on trying to pop than if it was working. But I'm thinking about maybe doing some King's Kush or like something cushy though. Like I need something that's got that proper Kush stank dank that I remember, that I love, that's really truly my happy place as a pot smoker. You know what I mean? AZ Treasure Hunters. Which ones were those back in the day, bud? Which one were those? Wait a minute. AZ Treasure Hunters. You're fucking Pilgor. Took me a second to remember that. Dude, yeah, I remember those. Fucking, we did the Berry White. We did, Berry White was interesting. What were the other ones I did? I did a couple of them, didn't I? I think I did I think I did your Bubba Kush. I did your Bubba. I did your Berry White. Then we had the one that had no ruderalis in it, supposedly, and I'm not saying it's not true. Then you made reference to government breeding programs that you were a part of, and that it may have some alien influence in there because it was auto flowering under 24 hours of light, even though it was supposedly not an auto. That was nifty. Oh, yeah, the blueberry. Yep. It's all coming back to me now, Pilgor. It's all coming back to me now. Brains are funny things, aren't they? Oh, but yeah, no. I don't know. But then there's all these other genetics that I have, right? Like that I've never grown. They're old school. They're weird. I've also got some newer genetics that were sent in to me by like a Potsquatch at home. I'm trying to remember what they were called. I remember seeing the pictures of them though, and they looked dank. Like they were super frosty. And they were really sexy. So maybe we'll do some of those. I don't know. I feel like that one was a grape ape by something else. But I can't remember. I don't even remember at the top of my head who sent them to me. Huh. So many things to try. And if I had extra money, I'd love to order some shit from either Shanti Bubba or, Todd McCormick. That'd be sexy. I'd love some of those skunk number ones that they've got that are legit. Gaz has been playing with those. He says they're fire as fuck. I'd love to play with Purist Indica, which is where Northern Lights came from. That'd be sick. It'd be like a blast from the past going into time machine on weed titties. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, Pilgor. That's fucking dope, man. I wish there was still cannabis cups in Canada, man. Like, they've died out. There used to be a lot of cups. I think there's still, I think the Karma Cup might still be going. I think the Medicinal Harvest Cup in Saskatoon may make a reemergence one day. I've heard rumors that it might come back, but it hasn't to this day. It's a really tiny one. To be fair, though, it's so tiny, though, that, it'd be a good place to kind of maybe make a first run at something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all still have cups down in the States, man. We just don't have them up here in Kanaja much anymore. There's a few of them, I think. But I even think the Karma Cup may not be coming back. I think a lot of them, all these types of events are going the way of the dinosaur when it comes to cannabis and cannabis culture and cannabis things in Canada, um, which is sad, really. It's sad, you know. It was a fun competition, but it is what it is. I'm still doing the Potsquatch thing, but I'm working a day job and I'm going hard at my film career. That's what I'm doing these days. Enjoying my Cadillac, making plans for buying apartment buildings. And there's a distressed, well, it's not a distressed property. It's distressed in that they've been trying to sell it for years and nobody buys it. But there's this beautiful parcel of land out in Prince Edward Island, everybody, and it's a castle. It's a 1/3 scale size of the complex of the Tower of London. And it's cheaper than buying a float house here in BC. So part of me would love, and it's 5 acres. Part of me is honestly thinking that if in the next year or two I get the money together, if it's still available, Uncle Potsquatch might move to the east coast of Canada, move down to Prince Edward Island, buy a castle, restore it, turn it both into film sets slash resort slash cottages. So like we would do business in terms of like, you know, vacation rentals, but then rent out to film sets, have a restaurant there so we could offer catering and do all that kind of stuff. And well, let's be fair, on 5 acres, you know I'm going to build a big old dope farm in the back too. We'll try growing some weed titties in those the red PEI potato dirt and see how that goes. Deborah Fletcher says, I swear I've seen you in commercials. Nah, Deborah. I've come real close on a bunch of commercials, but it's just another bearded white guy with glasses. And fun fact, I almost never wear glasses in anything I shoot. Almost everything I've ever shot, I'm blind as hell. Oh, I've been there, done that one stuff, you know. It's just too expensive in BC. That's where I'm contemplating leaving. It's just too expensive here, you know? Like, I mean, in BC, for $550,000, I get a float house. So no land, 1,200 square foot house, 3 bedroom, and I've still got to pay mortgage on it and property tax on property that I don't own that isn't even real because I'm floating on water. But, or I go to Prince Edward Island and for 490,000 asking, I can get 5 acres, a castle, and build a business. I think I'm really good potatoes down there, and I like potatoes. And the people in Prince Edward Island and the Maritimes are super duper nice. So, I don't know. I'm honestly thinking about it. That's where Big A, my best friend from high school, lives. He's the head chef of the Glasgow Hills Golf Club and Country Resort. Dude, I would have totally had fun on Peaky Blinders. I would have been super, super down. Dan Stutzky, but wages are half. Nah, man, they're not. Wages are just the same. For what I do for work down in PEI, I would get paid just the same amount, if not more than I get paid here. And taxes are lower. Property taxes are lower. Everything's more affordable. If I lived in Ontario, I'd be saving like 40 or 50 cents a liter on gas. But I don't want to move to Ontario, though. It's still too expensive, right? So, and I'm not going to lie to you, everybody. Restoring a castle and bringing it back, a Canadian castle. Like, okay, could you all not see Uncle Potsquatch living in a fucking castle, right? Castle Potsquatch. Big old Potsquatch Growers Army flag flying from the top of it. Smell my property from like 20 kilometers away. I could see me doing that. How is lobstering down in Prince Edward Island? It is the main place of lobsters. PEI is known for its lobster. It's the main lobstering haven, I guess, of Canada. So simply put, yeah, they got some good old lobsters down there, buddy. Live streams from a cave would bring more views. I don't know. I mean, cave, though. How am I going to get signal in a cave, man? I'm thinking castle, everybody, you know? And then at Halloween, I could, like, do the biggest, most dopest fucking, like, a haunted house and shit. Be so cool. I don't know. I can't afford any of that right now, so it's just a dream right now. But you never know. See, like, where I could afford buying that property and restoring it, I could afford it with the job that I have in British Columbia. So I'd have to find a job down at PEI where I could, make the same kind of cash that I'm making now. But like with 5 acres, like imagine the giant grow we could set up. You know what I mean? Like build a big old building. Be sick. Thank you, Tony. It's good to be back, baby. But like, we're gonna get a giant grow going again soon. Well, soon maybe not, but eventually. That's definitely gonna happen. And grow some just giant ass weed titties. And also the cool thing is though, too, like that whole property could double as a film set, so I could be doing things that I care about and love, making money doing that way. Just so happens I know one of the most dangerous chefs, who's also my best friend in the entire island. I think if I threw enough money at him, I could seduce him away, potentially, from the country club. So, why not? Oh, fuck yeah, Trichrome's Roxy Socks. That's kind of where my brain was at, too. We could totally do, like, a medieval theater thing. Maybe it doesn't happen all the time, but do special events where you come down to the Tower of London, the 1/3 size Tower of London, Uncle Potsquatch's place, and, like, just full-out medieval battles and shit. Ooh, but it could be like a weed medieval battle thing, so you could eat shrooms and smoke a bunch of weed and then watch Uncle Potsquatch and a bunch of other motherfuckers just, like, battle each other on horses and then with swords and shit. Fuck. That'd be so fun. We could even do a thing where, like, we have costumes for everybody, so you could actually, like, fully dress up. I mean, it wouldn't be a cheap ticket. It would cost money to come to this thing. But you could, like, dress up and you could sit there and eat a Flintstone-sized piece of meat, yelling at stuff. It'd be so fun. Plus, also, too, I could have chickens. Literally, my dream for many years is to have my own chickens. I want a chicken coop, everybody. One, make my own eggshells for calcium for my plants. I can feed them weed, too. Or at least, like, the leaves and shit. They love that shit. But then free eggs. I love eggs. My own eggs. Picture that. Uncle Potsquatch out by his weed grows. Little chickens running everywhere. Laying eggs for Uncle Potsquatch to eat. Sounds good to me, everybody. Bro. Oh, dude. I've never done LARPing, everyone. But I definitely think I would like it very much. I think I would get into it. If you have ever watched Supernatural, I'm very much Dean. I'm Dean. And I loved how intensely Dean got into the LARPing event. And watching that episode years ago, I was like, shit, I think I'd like LARPing too. I think I'd have a lot of fun with a LARP, I just don't know any LARPers or how to get into it. So one day, maybe. Oh, that one stuff. I feel you, man. I love stick fights. Growing up, that was one of our favorite things. So we would go out to the woods out here. We'd all get stoned as shit. Everybody would have half an hour to find 5 or 6 of their favorite sticks. And then we'd get stoned as shit. And then if your stick breaks, you can't fight with it anymore. It's the last stick standing, as it were. And that's what we did as teenagers in BC. Go out to the woods, get stoned as fuck, and stick fights. It was great. See, that sounds like so much fun to me too, Eugene Dolan. Like, like if Uncle Potsquatch bought a castle, not only would I be growing dope in a fucking castle, like, how cool is that? Castle Chronic. But like, there would be such a plethora of events I could do as a business out there, and as an actor, as a writer, and as a builder. Like, we could just do all of it. Like, I'm literally perfectly suited to go do all of these things. It would be so much fun. Pilgor's like, we shot each other with BBs. Hell yeah, buddy. I didn't have a BB gun growing up, so we had to, use sticks. What's up, Seymour Cannabis? Good to see you, buddy. Right now, we're doing what I'm calling one plant, one bucket. Wartime growing with Potsquatch. We've got a BC Kush, or K-Town Kush by Cheese by Alien Rift. We've got it in a 5-gallon. We're going to go back to some old school, tying them down, splaying them out. Lots of defoliation, lots of keeping it nice and clean. We've left the side trellising around the plant so we can tie down to the sides and shit. It's going to be good. Why I'm excited about this genetic, as I shared at the beginning of the show, and I've said a lot recently, is like, I wasn't expecting fuck all from this genetic. Like, I didn't think it would be any good. But somehow all these genetics have come together, and it's just like in veg, this bitch stinks like she's in flour, and it's super skunky and funky, like really skunky, and I'm just really stoked. So it should be a good one. And with that alien rift in there, I'm expecting it to have quite nice, big, dense nugs with some crazy frostability on there as well. Dude, Dan Stutzky, I mean, would I start a magazine about naked women? Probably not. But would I walk around in a robe a lot? Fuck yeah, I would. Oh, I'd be so down. I don't know. You never know. The ladies of PEI could be fun. But I definitely walk around in a robe, though. That's for sure. I'd be the weird eccentric millionaire living on the island who makes weird movies. Then you think, oh, he must be porn. No, he actually makes movies like movies. Yes, there's sex scenes in them occasionally, but, vampire movies aren't fun without any sex, are they? Well, that's the thing, that one stuff, is how I'm going to build this. I'm going to strip things down. I'm going to build it up. And I believe I could totally build a completely self-controlled environment. I've actually already been looking into what it would cost to have completely custom windows made with less than 1% thermal bleed. Like, I'm pretty sure I could restore a castle, but bring it airtight, and it would be pimp. Succulent Chinese meal, or the guy who flashes people from his bathrobe. Well, succulent Chinese meal, I mean, if it happens, it'll be an accident. Oops, forgive me. I apologize. I like the fresh air in my junk. Robert, Bud Girls? Yeah, I mean, Bud Girls, like, I mean, that's already been done so much, like women naked with weed. I mean, it's already been done, you know. If I'm going to do something erotica based, I want it to be original, right? So I think I'll just stick to the medieval theater and making weird horror films in my castle while growing weed. Yeah. Did you say bucket? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Yep, we're in the old Canadian-made 5-gallon Home Depot bucket stamped in East Coast Canada. So Jansen Dennis, this building actually isn't a historical building. It's not old enough. It was built in the late 50s or early 60s. Plus, it's on non-incorporated land. So the Historical Society can't do anything. They can fuck off and suck my dick, which is all the more reason why I want to buy this building. It's not quite old enough to be historical yet. Another 50 years, I'm fucked. But until then, I've got a historical recreation 1/3 of the Tower of London in the complex in Canada with no rules on non-incorporated land. The possibilities are endless, my friends. Oh, Pilgor. Oh, Pilgor. But also, fun fact, PEI, let's say hypothetically, okay, I had to renovate using old school wood and old school recovered sources. There's tons of that out in PEI. So it would actually be really easy. And then the surrounding Maritimes would be really easy to source things. But again, it's not old enough for them to put any rules on it. And there is no historical status to the building. So as long as I buy it before any dumbass tries to make it such, then we're good to go. Oh, hell yeah, bud. Oh, hell yeah, Eugene. It would be a slow process. Like, it's a really big compound, everybody. Like, it's a very large amount of different structures, and it's in horrible repair right now. I'm going to have to strip her down to bones and start building her up one piece at a time. It'll probably take me years, but it would be pimp as fuck, though. Hell yeah, Eugene. You know how I roll, son. Oh, it'd be wonderful. But these are my life plans, everybody. Keep me in Potsquatch, make movies, eventually buy my castle, and then also buy a bunch of apartment buildings as well. So, like, that's my end goal, right? Is apartment buildings and companies and hotels and all of that, and restaurants and bars, and then just make movies for fun on the side. Well, obviously as business as well, and then just grow a lot of weed, live my best life. That's what I'm looking for. looking for a way out of, you know, not working for the man forever. You know what I'm saying? I do like my Pilsner, Dan. You are correct. And it's so funny, like, some Canadians had to switch their beer for the trade war. And again, we're not going politics, we're just talking about beer. But luckily for me, since I've been on the Pilsner for so long, this is an old stool, one of the oldest Canadian beers around. And I was like, all right, sweet. I have had to change very little for this because most of the shit I already buy most of the time is all Canadian. Even my fucking favorite Weisswursts, they're made in Langley, man. German recipe, Canadian made. So it's been good. I haven't had to change much, really. Almost at all. So that's been appreciated. Hell yeah, that one stuff. Dude, if that's where your heart is at, do it. I want a giant compound. I want a castle. I'm going to build, because there used to be a moat around the castle, by the way. I was reading on the article, or not the article, but like the listing for this property. So it used to have a moat. Pretty sure I'm going to put the moat back in. I'm going to build a giant stone wall around the property. Ramparts and shit. Weaponized drones. Oh, a man can dream. A man can dream. But my drones won't have like weapons that hurt you. They're going to shoot darts with acid or DMT. And then I'm going to have like animatronics all over the property. So if you're stupid enough to break onto my property, I'm going to psychologically scar you. I'm going to send out my drones, dose you full of acid, and then scare you. I've also been wondering, like, is this place haunted? I hope it is. That'd be super cool, because then we could do ghost shows, too. That'd be fun, get stoned with ghosts. There's a show. Getting stoned with ghosts. All right. Gators. I don't think they would survive in my moat. They like the warm. Prince Edward Island basically freezes for half the year and gets quite cold. So, yeah, that wouldn't be possible, sadly. But I'm sure I could come up with something else that could live in my moat, unless I build in the moat and keep it warm. Not for gators, but like, I could have heaters and stuff. We have the technology. If I could figure out how to fucking build self-sustaining regenerative growing systems, I'm pretty sure I could figure out how to make a moat be happy 24/7, regardless of the season. Oh, dude, I'm going to build one of those too, though, Pilgor. Just, not in the castle, obviously, next to the castle. But like I said, 5 acres. There's enough land for me to do some shit there. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to build a geothermal kind of type of year-round greenhouse, though. I think that'd be really cool. Grow my own food. Grow a lot of weed. Chickens. I'm just really excited about having chickens. I'm gonna name them. Go hang out with my chickens. What are you doing this afternoon, buddy? You want to come to the bar? Nah, man, I'm gonna get drunk with my chickens instead. Could y'all picture Uncle Potsquatch just stoned and drinking beer with a bunch of chickens hanging out? That'd be hilarious. Well, Pilgor, I mean, land is so affordable in the States. And I mean, years ago I entertained the idea, but with the way things are now, no, I'm gonna stay in Canada. I'll just keep my winters. I'm okay with it. We'll just go geothermal, it'll be fine. What's up, George W. Cush? Dude, chicken feet, I've eaten chicken's feet. They're not bad. A little bony, though. Too much work for not enough reward, really, on eating a chicken's foot, in my humble 2 cents. But I told the Chinese friends that I have I would try it, and I did. I got frustrated and just ate the bones. Yo, what's up, Roman? What's up, my dude? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome. We're just talking about how I'm eventually planning on buying a castle in Prince Edward Island. Going to turn it into a hotel and a restaurant and a grow and a film set, and we might host medieval events occasionally and a bunch of fun stuff. Then I'm going to fly Pilgor up to help me build my geothermal, greenhouse, and it's going to be great. I'm going to have chickens. I'm going to have a crew of chickens. I'm gonna produce so many eggs, and they're all gonna eat weed, and then I'll just give eggs away to the local community. Like, oh, here, have some eggs. Oh, Roman, if I have to come down to America, it'll just be on the wall ride to, liberate the American people. Once I run out of beer, I'm going to go home. That's just a joke, everyone. Unless it comes to it, then I will. But, I mean, imagine that. Uncle Potsquatch naked in a kilt. Not really naked, but you're naked under the kilt, really, wearing like Scottish war paint, riding a giant war moose into America. I'm coming to liberate the Americans! Send in the war beavers! Where are our cobra snakes? AKA the geese. I see, like, we don't call them that here in Canada, by the way. I learned that from an American. And he was like, we call them cobra snake birds. And I'd never heard anyone call a Canadian goose or geese that. But it makes sense, though. They're mean fucking assholes. I remember the first time as a kid in Canada that I fucking learned about how mean Canadian geese are. Because they look cool. And you want to make friends with them, right? So you're like this little 5-year-old kid. And they fucking bite, man. And once they decide they're mad at you, they don't fuck off. Just like Canadians. We come in with 2 settings. Oh, I'm sorry. And you'll be sorry. It's really hard to get us to that second setting. But basically, once we get there, we basically don't turn back. That's why we're some of the most dangerous special ops forces in the world. There's not a lot of us, but the few we got, we're very dangerous. Hey, when you piss us off, we're not happy. Bro, dude, I'm definitely down. I wanted to be at the actual wedding, by the way. It just didn't work out. But dude, I'm not opposed to briefly coming into America. And I would come down for your anniversary party on the farm. I would definitely do that, Pilgrim. I would drive my Cadillac down over that border with my Potsquatch Growers Army sticker on, proudly, and saying, go ahead, search my vehicle. I've never used it to transport drugs. And also, I just had it detailed, so have fun. It smells like new car smell. No, I'd do that, man. I get pretty good mileage in the Caddy, too, so I bet you I could probably get there not only pretty quick. What are the speed limits on American highways, by the way? You could say it in miles. I can translate in my brain. How fast can I drive on your highways? $65 miles an hour. So I can go about $130, $140, $45, $150 maybe. All right. Fuck yeah, Robert. That sounds like fun to me. Oh, they got to catch me, right? All right. Fuck yeah, bud. So basically, not only do I get to drive to Pilgor's house, I can drive really quick and open my engine up. I will say my Cadillac's pretty zippy. For a little engine, it's fucking cranks. I'm faster than the cops. It's a good time. It's a good time. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in like 5 point something seconds. So, to be fair, I think she's a little quicker than that, though. That's what the stats on the car say, but I've tested it, and I'm pretty sure it's a little faster than that. Roman reckless, I would say in general, yeah, I'd say you're right. To be fair, with the intent and well trained individuals who know what they're doing, you're probably not wrong there, bud. I want America to know too. By the way, none of us want any of this. Okay, we're now having fun with it, so that's what's dangerous. Is we've decided this is where we're at and this is where we're going. So, and we're not going to politics on this. We didn't start it. We didn't start 1812 either. We burnt the White House down. But I just want America to know we have no beef with you. We do have beef with Trump and MAGA right now, but we have no beef with you. And just know we don't think of ourselves at war with America. We love our cousins. We think of ourselves at war with them. So just know it's not personal with you guys. We have no ill will or negative thoughts at all towards any of you, except the MAGA movement and Trump, and Elon. We hate him. Yeah, but other than that, we're good to go. Just know, America, it's going to be okay. We'll all get over this. We may never trade with you again like we used to, but that's okay. We needed to break that off anyway and diversify our trade. It totally is, Roman. It is. It is. The whole thing is. I basically turn on the news just to watch basically a playground fight. And see, it doesn't matter which side you're on, everybody's stupid. This whole thing's stupid, but it is entertaining. So for me, as an actor, writer, comedian, and filmmaker, pot grower, I'm just smoking weed in Canada watching this all unfold. And it's very, very entertaining. Uh, but let's go back to talking about growing dope in a castle, okay? Because that's more fun. Um, One of the things I was looking into this property, I was like, okay, so what? Here's the real question: what level of power is to this property? And I'm still waiting on some of my people down in PEI to get back to me on the due diligence on this. I have confirmed it's non-incorporated land. I have confirmed that it's non-historical society building. But my question is it tied into, you know, city plumbing, or is it on septic? I'm pretty sure it's probably septic. Two, what level of power is coming to the building? I've already accepted that more than likely we're going to have to gut the whole building and rewire. Definitely probably got some dangerous old school wires in there. So we're probably going to have to gut the whole damn thing, basically. Go down to brass tacks and build her back up. But I mean, you know what? That's the best way to build anything. That's how I rebuilt my dick. Strip it down, work with what you got, you know? If it has a medieval toilet, I'll probably keep at least one of those intact for sure. Just for um, keeping it true. But like, let's be fair. I'm probably going to plumb and wire the whole thing. I'm going to build in an HVAC even. I'm going to do a bunch of shit to this building. It'll look right both on the inside and the outside. We'll probably lose some square footage though on installing some things. But no, I'm going to make it my personal little sanctuary. With attack beavers in the moat. Yeah, and we'll protect the hydropower from the moat, Pilgor, with attack beavers. I'll ship in the meanest, biggest beavers you ever did see. Oh, sorry. I just love beavers. We got some pretty cool animals up in Canada, I tell you. You know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Eugene, I'm pretty sure it's straight septic. And so the question really would be, what size septic is on the property? Is it still functioning? We probably have to build a new septic. And especially if we're going to turn it into a hotel as well with like lodgings and stuff for people, probably going to have to build a fucking giant ass septic. But that's okay. 5 acres. We'll just dig a big hole and build one. Hashtag boom. Get damn remote beavers would just leave. Yeah, no, they probably would fuck off unless I made friends with them. I would have to negotiate with the beavers and make peace. And then make them realize they could live on my property and be friends. And then they won't leave, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. 10 years from now. Prince Edward Island's been taken over by beavers. Damn you, Potsquatch! Crap, I didn't know! They got some good beef down in PEI. They got some good potatoes. You know what I mean? It's good farming country out there. There's an iron oxide in the soil there, so pretty much almost all the dirt in most farmland out in Prince Edward Island is bright red. Well, orangey red. It's filled with iron oxide. Really good for the potatoes, though. You haven't lived, by the way, everybody, unless you've tried Prince Edward Island potatoes. You got to check that one out. Prince Edward Island potatoes. They are banging. You haven't lived until you fucking had a chip up on that. Mm-hmm. Tasty. Dude, well, I was thinking, Deborah, windmilled. Like we would have a windmill, quote unquote, for power. We would also have solar. To be fair, I probably would also take a lot of the leftovers to make my own bioethyl alcohol to run backup generators. Much lower carbon footprint than traditional petroleum products, so that'd be dope. And basically, I should, in theory, be able to take this whole bitch off grid too. I mean, Roman reckless. I mean, technically, if it was a true medieval thing, then yes, I would have serfs. But I mean, I'm not going to have serfs, though. Obviously, it's kind of against the rules in a modern society. Um, but I might pay people extra to come help me with my land, and I'll be like, okay, you get an extra $200 a day if you act like a serf. I wouldn't do that, but it's just funny to me. I want to do most of the work myself, to be fair. Like, it's only 5 acres. If I can't handle that, then I'm fucking useless. I mean, Eugene Dolan, I have a fair amount of understanding on septic and I got well, hell, a couple of my buildings have fairly large septic tanks that are, well, they're not really a septic tank. It's actually a grease trap, but it's the same basic technology. And I mean, I've worked in a pub that had quite large. It had a triple initial flow with triple tank. It wouldn't be that hard. It'd probably cost. To build a sufficient septic for what I'm thinking there is probably going to be about $30,000 to $55,000. But then we could get a good old big giant septic built, I think. Oh, bro, Roman, 100%, like medieval times and shit. Like, I'm serious. So the property I'm legitimately looking at, I could afford the property, but I need a different job on the East Coast to justify it and to get like the mortgage out there. But there's a full blown castle that is a 1/3 replica of the Tower of London and the complex of the Tower of London in Canada, in Prince Edward Island, for sale right now. Comes on 5 acres, and I'm like, if I can figure out a way, I'm fucking going. Like, I'm just fucking moving. Just fucking. Why not? Oh, totally, Robin. Right. So, and that's actually where my brain's at. Is I'm going to turn the whole complex into both a hotel, a restaurant, a film set. So then, when people come, we've got lodgings for the crew, and we got catering. Um, and yeah, it'd be sick. Um, I'm actually a lot further ahead on all of this, by the way, than most people would think. And I've already been talking to locals. So the guy who's the GM of the country club and golf club that my buddy is the head chef of, his wife's an architect. They've got connections in the city. I've already started getting talks and getting information from a bunch of different groups. Like, I'm actually genuinely thinking about this. It would take some creative reasoning and thinking how to figure out how to make it actually happen, but I'm genuinely actually working on that. What's up, Chromie Stomey? Welcome to the crew. Welcome to the show, my friend. We're just hanging out, talking weed titties. Right now, we're actually more talking about the fact that I want to buy a castle in Prince Edward Island, turn it into both a hotel slash cottages slash a restaurant slash a film set with accommodation plus a giant grow up there. Build a giant geothermal greenhouse and have chickens. It'd be great. What's up, Grover Kenny? What's crack-a-lacking, man? Good to see you. Happy guy, I am most certainly talking about the castle in Burlington, Prince Edward Island. I've actually got boots on the ground talking and finding out some stuff. She's in rough shape. She's going to take a lot of work, a lot of money, and a lot of know-how, but I'm really into the hypothetical concept. I'm also, literally by day, I literally work fixing things all day, so it wouldn't be too hard. Miss K's garden, would I just have chickens? I probably have some other things too, but, we'll get there. I mean, really, I got to get the castle renovated and get the hotel and the film sets built inside of the building and all of that before I get anything other than just a chicken coop. I eat a lot of eggs, good source of protein, but. Well, Deborah Fletcher, it's all over the internet. Like, oh, I definitely want a donkey or a goat. I'd love to have a goat just to hang out with them and be like, what's up, Billy? We could practice headbutting each other. No, but everybody knows about it. Like, I mean, if someone goes and buys it out from under me, okay, good luck. It's going to cost you millions of dollars to do anything with this property. I'm actually stubborn and stupid enough to actually do it. It's okay. And to be fair, if it gets purchased, I'll just go buy a very similar property somewhere else. Or I'll build my own castle. I'm a stubborn prick. I'm not the only person available or aware of the castle in Burlington, Prince Edward Island, by the way. But it has been on the market for years. because nobody's actually willing to do anything with it. It's going to be hard to do. It's not an easy project. That's why nobody's done it. And I'm just stubborn and stupid enough to do it. Plus, I got a lot of like my peeps in PEI now. So I got connections. I got connections to city councils. I got connections to architects. I got connections to them. Basically, one of the leading chefs, if not, in my opinion, the most dangerous chef on the entire island. So, plus, also, too, all of my plans is going to stimulate the local economy, right? We're bringing in a shitload of money. We'll be bringing in fill money. We're going to be creating jobs for people. We're going to pay people fairly, and we're going to add and bring into the community of Burlington. So, hashtag boom. Hell yeah, Roman Reckless. There you go. See, in my brain, right? If you get a bunch of larfy stuff too, that's okay. That's called hash. I mean, that's where I'm going with that one. I'm just gonna make a bunch of hash. Well, I'm also gonna feed a lot of my leaves, local grow guy, to my chickens. You know. Selective defoliation is my middle name, local grow guy. It's the way to do it, buddy. Who's the person that knew what I'm talking about? Who was it? Happy guy. Are you in PEI, happy guy, or you're just aware of the property? He may not still be there. I don't know. Yeah, chickens aren't crazy, man. I want turkeys too. I want to have giant turkeys just roaming the property. That'd be super cool. Ugly birds, but fuck, do they taste good. I like ducks because they're sassy. I also like eating ducks. To be fair, most forms of poultry I like eating. I like emu. I like ostrich. A little gamey, but very lean. You gotta be careful with how you cook them, but still tasty. Haven't made an ostrich egg omelet yet, though. One of these days I'll get around to it. Local grow guy, that literally will never happen. And we've already agreed that we're not going into it. So I'll just say one last statement, which I've already said in the show. You'd have to kill every Canadian in the country to take us over. Never going to happen. We may be friendly, but we're really dangerous. So it wouldn't be a smart move. It'll never happen, local grow guy. It'll never happen. That one stuff. Yes, I have had moose in my fridge. I've cooked moose. I've eaten a lot of moose. Moose tastes really good. I've eaten moose. I've eaten caribou. I've eaten grizzly bear. I've eaten baby seal. I've eaten donkey. That was in China, though, not in Canada. Yeah, no, moose is good. Moose meat, fuck, dude, it's good. Fuck moose burgers, moose sausage, moose brisket. Mm. They're mean fuckers, though. If you ever see a moose in person, like a full-blown male buck moose, and you see it real close to you, Jesus Christ, they are big assholes. If you get close to a moose and you see it, you question life. You're like, I think I might be about to die. I think I'm about to die. They're huge. They're basically giant meat-covered tanks. Moose are scary. I like bear. As long as it's not a garbage or a fish bear, bear is good eating. If it's a bear that's been foraging and eating lots of berries and other shit, bear meat's good. Bear meat good. I can't hunt grizzlies in Canada as a white person, but my indigenous friends are still allowed to do it. And one of the best tasting things I've ever eaten in my goddamn life was grizzly bear pepperoni, believe it or not. And it was astonishingly tasty. Do you still have a tortoise, by the way, Pilgor? How's the tortoise doing? I want a tortoise. Is it bigger now? Everybody, Pilgor has a tortoise. Does he eat weed leaves still? I think he did before, right? Tortoises are dope. Well, time for an old tradition. It's called a live stream during the live stream. If anyone's new here, don't freak out. It's called Diuretics Happen. Live stream during the live stream. Don't worry, it's not a show, it's just you'll hear. There we go. Diuretics happen, everybody. This used to be a very common thing in the show, especially when I drank a lot more and we do a lot of shows that would go like 2, 3, 4 hours. A lot of beer, a lot of peeing in the show. Hell yeah. Say hi to the tortoise for me, Pilgor. So dope. Tortoises are dope. And your tortoise eats dope. It's less salty than you'd think. As long as it's not a garbage bear or a fish bear, it's not as bad as you think, Pilgor. At least up here. I mean, you get a black bear that's been eating berries. Oh my god. Those ribs, the bear ribs, it's like candy. It's amazing. That's right, Eugene. I've still got good prostate health. The day the live stream during the live stream doesn't go so well, everybody be like, Uncle Potsquatch, it's time to go to the doctor. So, how did you get notified that you might have issues with your prostate? Well, my fam jam on the live stream said, yo, Uncle Potsquatch, you're not streaming very well anymore. I think you should go to the doctor, mate. Dude, Roman, kidney stones suck. Kidney stones suck. They definitely suck. Been there once. It's not enjoyable. Zombie dick, though, that hurts more than kidney stones. That one was vastly more painful, and it went on for months. Oh, so yeah, by the way, so again, we're still a couple of hours off the first 24, but so at 72 hours, though, we'll make a little video on tying down so you can see the next sort of steps of what we're doing. I'm just giving it a few days to kind of get used to its new environment, spread some roots so it's a little bit more stable so I can really start wrenching those branches down and tying them down, you know what I'm saying? Oh, dude, happy guy, blueberry black bears are the tastiest bears. They are wonderful. They taste so good. Hell yeah, local grow guy. Oh, happy guy. So are you in PEI, happy guy? I mean, Roman, if that's what he's into, I say go for it. But that does not sound like fun to me. I had it once and I never want them again. Whatever floats your boat, I guess, you know, whatever makes you happy. See, guys, regular kidney stones is not normal, nor is it a good thing. That's bad. You shouldn't do that. What's up, Todd Wilson? Just chilling, man. Talk about buying a castle in Prince Edward Island. Yeah, no, I when I had kidney stones back in the day, drank a lot of pop and not a lot of water. Wasn't a good combination. Pretty much local guy. Pretty much local grow guy. It's not advisable. And if some man is telling you he can pass kidney stones fairly easily now, fuck, he must have destroyed the inside of his cock. Oh my God. There we go. Ah. Oh, what's up, Todd Wilson? Where in Ontario are you from? I was born in Burlington, Ontario. I grew up in London and Old South, up over the Thames River. And yeah, right up from Thames Park and the Thames River, where I used to go fishing as a kid, was right where they found the giant toxic tar blob that was like a couple tons in the river there. I never ate any of the fish, so thank God for that. But yeah. Oh, you're in between Kingston and Ottawa. Hell yeah. My mom and sisters, they're all down in Kitchener Waterloo area now. I've still got friends and family in London. I'm thinking about moving to PEI and buying me a castle, though. Dan Stutzky was born in Alberta. What part of Alberta were you born in, bud? Where are you now? I mean, I feel like some people are predisposed to getting chronic kidney stones. A lot of other people who have them, it's just dietary choices. But yeah. Oh, Dan, right. We were going to meet up when I was in Edmonton, weren't we, Dan? Then we didn't, but we almost did. I had a good time in Edmonton. There's a really good sausage shop in Edmonton. There, my buddy's sister works there. They make a decent bratwurst. It's pretty good. The Coastwater. You owe me $13 and a can of Pringles. Well, sadly for you, I will not be buying any cans of Pringles because they're not made in Canada, to my knowledge. Yeah, that's what I was figuring, Pilgrim. When it got me, I was drinking a lot of Diet Coke instead of water. It wasn't advisable. It was not advisable. Nah, I don't know what a can of Pringles goes for. I haven't really bought Pringles in a long time. Like since I was a kid. What would a can of Pringles go for? I don't know. Depends on where you are in Canada. Like where I am in Canada, things are more expensive than other parts of Canada. I mean, everything in Canada is really expensive. Doesn't matter what part of Canada you go to. Like if you're an American and you come to Canada and you see how expensive shit are, you're gonna look at us and go, "Holy fuck!" That's why like a lot of us have been laughing about Americans freaking out about the price of eggs. We're just kind of like, "Oh muffin." You don't know how expensive things can get. Oh man. Like, oh, let's play a game. This will be fun to freak out some Americans. Let's talk about what shit costs where I live. 2 for a beer. That's going to cost you like, 50 to 60 bucks. Liter of gas is fluctuating anywhere between $1.85 to $2.20 a liter of gas where I live. What else is expensive? Well, buying a shithole house here in Vancouver, that's like $2 to $4 million right there. Um, you want to go buy a full prime rib, you're dropping 400, 500, 600 bucks right now. Hell, basic tiny 1 person, 2 person pot roast is going to cost you like 30 bucks. Um, Pound of butter is like usually anywhere from 8 to 12 bucks. Gallon of milk's going to cost you anywhere from 8 to 12 bucks. A kilogram brick of cheese typically is going to go decent basic cheddar. That's going to cost you about 26 bucks. Yeah. No, shit's expensive right now, Mudswat. Beef has gone through the roof right now in Canada. So beef is very expensive. Here, actually, I got some steaks here in the fridge. What did these go for? Oh, these were a pretty good price, actually. This is not bad. Okay, so here's some grass-fed beef rib eye steaks from Famous Foods on Kingsway here in Vancouver. That's not a bad price, actually, for a couple of those here. So that's like $15.07. That's actually not that bad. That's not bad at all. At least by Canadian standards, anyway. Oop, shit. Stepping on the thing empties there. Natalia's chin. Yeast. What does yeast cost? I don't know. Haven't bought yeast in a while. I'm not normally a baker these days. I'm not patient enough. Who is Dottie? Dottie is my ex. Dottie is someone who was once upon a time Mrs. Potsquatch and no longer is. No, I figured she's a troll, but that's okay. I'm having fun with it anyway. What? The one on that other dude's channel? He's just being a fucking moron, stirring crap and telling lies. That's all that's about. Yeah, right. No, so like I mean, and I will say, Roman though, like I've seen prices way higher than that. It depends really where you go. Like it's like a lot of people in Canada right now, like and things are expensive in general. And then like for us to buy Canadian, which is what we're all doing, you know, Canadian stuff often costs a little bit more. But if you know how to shop and where to shop and you're willing to go to a few different places, you can get really good deals. It's about looking out for deals when you see them. You know, like I got a really good deal on strawberries the other day from Mexico. Got a little pint of strawberries or whatever you call one of these. Would you call that a pint? I don't know. Whatever you'd call that for Mexico. That was $3.49 at the local shop. That's quite expensive. So that was pretty good. You get good deals. You just got to look out for good deals, right? And then you buy shit and you put it in your ice box. You freeze that shit. You're good to go. You know what I'm saying? Why is it so expensive in Canada? Because we have a lot of taxes. We pay typically on average income taxes anywhere from 33 to 45, 50%. Unless you make a certain amount of money, then you're pretty much paying 50 to 60% income tax. We've got taxes through the roof on liquor. We've got taxes through the roof on cigarettes. We've got taxes on everything. But one thing that we have is we've got a GDP that's able to stand up as a country of 41 million people and standing our ground and swinging our dicks back at the stupidity coming out of the current Oval Office. We're able to do that at 41 million people. We've got healthcare for everybody. You come to Canada, nobody's gone broke for having to not die or have a child or be sick. People are allowed to be sick. We take care of our own. We even take care of people not from our country and don't charge them a goddamn dime. If you're in our country and you have a medical issue, we will definitely 100% take care of you. Raymond, we're not going all political on this, but I'll put it to you this way. I'll put a simple statement. If there was one man. Hey, oh, did that screw up my sound? Can you hear me? Can anyone hears me? Is the audio still okay? To him, yes. There, you can hear me. Good. I'm not going to go into my thoughts because guess what? I respect all people's political beliefs. We are a democratic channel. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinions and political beliefs. But mine, I am public enemy number one against your current administration. We'll leave it at that. One of my favorite memes that I saw with all this shit starting out was like, wow, time zones are weird. It's this time in West Coast Canada. It's this time in East Coast Canada. It's 1936 in America. As a 20th century history major, I found that one really funny, and it made me laugh. Yeah, no, yeah, I am not of the Trump movement. If anything, I would be on the opposite side, and I'd be the first Canadian showing up to go to war against MAGA, and I'd be happily ready to pick up arms against that. But that's only if it comes down to it, right? Right now, it's just a trade war, so I'm buying Canadian and never will buy American products probably ever again if I've got a Canadian option. But we didn't start this. But yeah, so not a fan, not a fan. I think all politicians are fucked and all political parties are fucked and everyone's fucked. They're all fucked. But, fascist movements, stripping of civil liberties, nah, not really into that. I'm kind of into people being allowed to be people. Big believer in that one. Just my thoughts. Oh, 100% Roman. That's the funny thing. And that's the thing. Like, for example, everybody, let's use Roman and I's personal relationship. We agree on almost everything. There's just certain things that we are diametrically opposed on. But it doesn't mean we can't be friends. It doesn't mean we can't be homies. It doesn't mean we can't sit at the same table, get drunk, get stoned. I don't think Roman drinks anymore, but if he did, we could get drunk, and that's not a big deal, right? Like, that's called democracy. You're allowed to have differences of opinion. But it's when intolerance and hate and people not being allowed to be gets in the thing, or one group of people telling another group of people they can't be them or exist. I take issue with that, right? If I had my way, I'd fuck off to the woods for the rest of my life and just make weird movies for all of you, grow dope, and that's it. I'll write some books, I'll make some paintings, and then you can all come to my funeral, get fucked up, and have a good party, But other than that, certain things happen, and eventually Uncle Potsquatch is going to come out of the woods and going to make a stand on something. I'd much rather never have to do that. I would be super okay with never having to do that. But, sometimes shit happens. Oh, you do drink? Okay, cool. Me and Roman going to get drunk, everybody then. I couldn't remember if you were someone who did drink or didn't drink. A lot of Potsquatches did drink but don't drink, and I can't remember who's who. I'm a drinker and a smoker. I like to toke, I like to smoke, you know what I'm saying? And I like to drink. I mean, I'm a beer guy too, Roman. And like I said, I like my old style Pilsner. Old school Canadian beer, and it's got a cute little white bunny on the can. That's okay, that one stuff. America gets crazy sometimes, and that happens. Shit gets weird here too, but I will say the current chapter is a little weird. It's definitely the craziest I've ever seen it in my life. Arguably, certain things that are happening down there right now has never happened in American history, and it's kind of fucked. Just know we're thinking of you. And again, just remember, Canadians, we as Canadians, we didn't start this, and two, we're not at war with America. We are at war right now against your current administration and the MAGA movement. 100%. Definitely are. 100%. But don't think we view it as a war with America. We don't. Because what we're seeing out of your country right now is not America. This is not America. This is some weird cultish, you drank the Kool-Aid thing going on. And we're like, like I've got friends who are Republicans and Democrats, and we're all agreeing on the same thing. We're like, okay, shit, this is fucked. And we're all like, yeah, man. So just know, though, America, and even if you are a person who loves Trump and supports MAGA, that's okay. Again, you're allowed to like them. I'm allowed to reserve the right to think you're an idiot, but you're also allowed to reserve the right to think I'm an idiot. And we can still go have drinks and have dinner. That's allowed. It's called modern society. It's called democracy. It's called we're all different. And that's okay. Mosaic, not a smelting pot. You know what I'm saying? And the fact of the matter is like, if everybody was fucking the same, we'd all be growing the goddamn same weed. We'd all be the same motherfucker. Every conversation would be boring. Movies would suck. Books would suck. Sex would suck. Everything would suck. Because everybody would be the same. And that would be awfully fucking boring. In my humble 2 cents. Dude, I've always wanted to try to make some homemade mead. I looked up some recipes recently, and it looks kind of cool. Basically, according to the internet, I need yeast, honey, and some blueberries, and I'm pretty much good to go. So that sounds cool to me. Hey, Soul Price, don't sell yourself short there, but I hear you can buy one of those things for $5 million with a golden ticket down in the States now. So don't sell it for too cheap. Dude, right? Katie has she also has Crohn's, and I've read up more about Crohn's disease and things like that, and different fermented things. I think though too, I think that's why, like for example, like I'm quite sensitive to gluten, right? I drink a lot of beer, and I love gluten. I love pasta, I love bread, I love all of it. But I have noticed that like if I eat sourdough products, that my system and my irritable bowel syndrome and all of that does not flare up that bad. And I think it's because like the whole culture of, a sourdough starter and stuff genuinely breaks down gluten in a different way, maybe. I don't fucking know, but I like sourdough. And seemingly my body gets less mad at it. Straight up. Yeah, no, hit the market when it's hot, Soul Price, exactly. Street value. Oh, fuck, that's funny. IBS is a bastard. I agree with you, Eugene. Don't. I agree with you. Doesn't help when you start aging either. It makes it even better. Happy guy. I don't know if that's quite how it works. Uh, Plus, Crown Royal's kind of garbage, isn't it? I mean, it used to be good, but it's far too sweet now, in my opinion. There's a lot of better rye whiskeys out there. I liked Crown once upon a time, but it's just too sweet for me now. There's a lot of better rye whiskeys in Canada than Crown. Crown's all right. I'll drink it if it's being offered, but too sweet for my taste. But I have noticed, though, as I've aged, I'm vastly more sensitive to sugar now. I don't even use sugar in my coffee. I use honey now. I mean, so it's still a sweetening additive, right? But yeah, I'm really sensitive to sugar these days. So it's like Crown is just, even certain beers are just way too sweet tasting to me now. That's why I like my old style Pilsner. It hasn't changed my entire life, and it never will. It's the same recipe they were making well over 100 years ago, and the shit tastes good, and it's not too sweet, got more flavor than a lager, and it's a good time. And, fuck it, it's good in the stew. Oh, the new apple one's really sweet. Oh, oh, yeah. If I'm going to drink whiskey, I just need whiskey in my whiskey. I don't need to add to it. Aha! Gotcha, Robin. Thank you for sharing. That makes sense. I've also just realized because my lady friend has been sitting at a coffee shop while I'm doing the show, and she's like been sitting there doing homework and stuff. She's in nursing school, waiting for me to finish the show, and so she's like texting me now as I'm still here. She's like, "So how goes the show?" And she's like, "I want to go to Johnny's for the happy hour. You gonna be done soon?" uh, anyway, my friends, my family, Guy Johnson, be nice. Don't be a cocksucker. Unless that was nice and I'm reading it wrong, but don't be a dick. Treat everyone with respect. That also, treating people with respect doesn't mean you can't have good deliberations, good debates, and, call each other stupid occasionally. That's allowed too. I do it all the time. But remember, we're all in this together, everybody. The whole world stands together. The whole world's a little fucked right now. We do have, for the first time in a long time, fascist realities and fascist people in power that are trying to actually hoodwink us right now. Remember, that is all very real, okay? So together we stand, divided we fall. Keep yourself educated. Don't believe what you read on the internet. Check your sources. And don't just take someone telling you something as truth. Go find out for your bloody self. And remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Love yourselves. Love your plans. And tune in a little bit over 48 hours there, and we're going to show you a video on tying this little sexy lady down and getting her ready to show you how she's going to explode up in this bitch. And we're going to keep it sexy, and keep it real. All right, see y'all on the battlefield. Uncle Potsquatch the fuck out. Word to your mother. All right, all right, all right. And to my fellow Canadians, elbows up, motherfuckers. Let's get her done. All right, peace out. Okay, bye. Oh, there's the thing.